Armada Book 5 Chapter 5 The Insertions Part 4. At the Crimson planet, the group found themselves in the middle of a large tent city with thousands of humans. Omdru, Roden, Tisismu. He introduced Madanite to the group as Mo. Ribani said. Madanite shook hands with each of them. I am honored to be in your presence. Why don't we all go to the briefing tent before we bring you all over to the Crimson? Except of course for our VIPs Andrew, Roden, Eric and Roger who do not want to be telepathic. Madanite said. At the mission tent, Madanite, or in his assumed name, Mo, discussed how the Crimson can make them telepathic, how they can choose whatever information they want to have, within limits, and whether they want to be comedic or not. He also told the group that it is SOP for the ships to put communications implants on all Armada personnel so they can communicate with the ship and with others at long distances. He also discussed the implants for the ground troops, attack troops, and how they use them. Then he discussed the 3 ships. He also discussed the ship assignments for the people of this dimension. Then he discussed their mission in the Inky planet and the Norset galaxies. Finally he discussed the plasma defense systems for the planets, telling them that the ships are carrying 12,000 ground plasma cannons ready to deploy. Let me try to understand this. You will go to my galaxy, free the 5 planets taken over by the Intis and allow us to integrate our society with the Intis. Then give us the plasma defense technology to defend our planets? Roden asked. In exchange for 200 ships which we will then fly over to the Norsets to free their planets from the Morts. Andrew said. Sounds simple enough for me. Roger said. This is unbelievable to me. The 5 planets are all the world to me, and now you are providing us with a way to defend ourselves and unite our species. Roden declared. Don't we have to talk about specifics? You know, like how will we do it? Plus you did not take into account the presence of the Maccabee enemy in the Inky, Norset and Mac galaxies. Eric said. I think Ribani showed us how. He tagged the Maccabee crew, beamed them to a planet, read their minds and took over their ship. Andrew said. Yes Andrew, one advantage we have is that they do not know of the Crimsons and our ability to be Crimson invisible. Also the earlier mind reading revealed to us where their ships would be positioned. Madanite said. So we tag all the Intis and beam them all back to their planet. How many millions are we talking about? Roger asked. Maybe 30 million at least. Ribani answered. It is doable if we put them all to sleep. Eric said. We can refine the plans as we get nearer to the execution date and with more intel. Andrew declared. The Crimson is asking if all of you are ready. Except for the VIPs of course. Madanite said. Sure, let's go. Ellie said. Madanite toured the VIP group around and the group was amazed at the number of people they have abducted from Earth. The place was a large tent city that they realized was Crimson invisible given the slight blue hue that is not very obvious unless you look at the sky and the grounds around. The sunshine appears to be bluish rather than white-yellow. These people are your biggest assets Andrew. They are among the best warriors and leaders the human species can have. There are a lot more but we cannot possibly get them all, and with the assassination attempt we are really pressed for time. Madanite explained. I heard you dealt the assassin leaders a big blow by getting their money. Roden said. There should be redundancies in the Maccabee assassination operations. Rimaston must look for these. Roger said. I have communicated your concern to him Roger. Madanite said. If we know where the Maccabee ships would be we can determine who their targets are. Roden said. Chances are they are an assassination team as well. They could blend with the population and kill the High Council, the key ship commanders, the key scientists and the Mac Council and scientists. Andrew said. You are correct Andrew. That is why we are pressed for time. As soon as the ships arrive tomorrow, we all will leave within the day. We will reach the Inky galaxies in 15 days, during which time all the Armada personnel must try to be very familiar with the ship technologies. Madanite agreed. I think we should let one of the ships go to the Norset galaxies to head off the assassination attempt. Billy and Tony can go. Eric said. That's actually a very good idea. We can have Roden get us a few ships early on to accomplish the mission, all in secret of course. Andrew said and looked at Roden. There are a few commanders I trust. I believe I can move 20 ships at least out of the main fleet unnoticed. Roden said. What you can do is to have your trusted commanders fly out to look for you, and when they are far enough we make them Crimson invisible. Then we have our people blend with them. Madanite said. I think 20 ships are more than enough. Eric said. Yes, and I think I should deploy 10 of them to help Billy out. Roden said, and I will try to get more so we are more flexible. Very good Roden. Andrew said. Tell me Mo, how will I unite our species? Roden asked. Madanite looked at Roden and, the Intis need your help. They are just too proud to admit it. We can give them our fusion technology and we can provide for their food and medical needs. You have a very good negotiating team led by your brother Sir Odin. Your brother will be a key player in bringing the Intis into your world. His heart is in the right place and you will see him progress quickly. I am not sure if the Furlets and Intis have entered into an alliance, and if they have they probably would be building 2 large monster ships 1,000 times larger than your Vintas. We can save the monster ships for the Intis as part of the negotiations but blow up the ships the Furlets are building. Just make sure not to treat the Intis as second-class citizens or your plans to unify your society will fail. So there is an alliance between the Furlets and Intis brewing. It could thus be tricky. Rodin said. Matanite continued, we have a device called the Chameleon Band which can make you appear anybody you program the device to make you appear to be. It's really handy in infiltration and counterintelligence. I like that. Roger said. So we can make our people appear as Intis and blow up the Furlet ship? Andrew said. Very good, Andrew. Rodin acknowledged. Why don't we move over to the mess hall and get something to drink? Matanite offered. The next day the 3 ships were within beaming range. The crew went down to the Crimson planet and introduced themselves to the Earthlings and to Rodin's group. They immediately searched for their Earthling partners so they can start the training. Rodin, Gantley, Andrew, Roger, Billy, Tony, Eric, Ellie, Vicky, Linda, Ono, Ezra, Ribani and Alan Cook found themselves in the bridge of the Galaxy Starship Andrew Man. Welcome to the bridge of the Galaxy Starship Andrew Man. Matanite declared. The ship has my name? Matanite showed a hologram of the ship with Andrew's name on it. Then 2 more holograms of 2 other ships appeared. One has GS Bill Guzman and the other has GS Ellie Rivers written on them. Wow, I have my own ship too. So my ship is different, right, Mo? Yes, Ellie, it's a science ship. But that's my maiden name. I guess that will work for now. This is really a neat ship. We should build more of these. Rodin said. Yes, you should, but one of the key players are the Norsets with their strong manufacturing capabilities. You should partner with them and the Max to build these Armada-type ships. Tell me about my ship, Mo. Andrew said. Matanite looked at Ribani. Ribani countered, why don't we all move to the mission room right next door? At the mission room, okay, this ship is a very advanced commander type of Armada ship. It has 600 plasma cannons, 20,000 drones, 100 sabers, 100 dogs, has quarters for 50,000 personnel complete with training rooms. It has 4 medium-size formulators, 10 power plants, 200 long-range TPs, 10 mining TPs, 10 shield generators, and the hull is the most advanced metal which is 20,000 times stronger than the Inky ship hull metals. It has dual shields, 1 regular shield underneath a time warp shield. Nothing can get through, not even our plasma cannons. Its communications and data systems are the most advanced we have across our galaxies with a range of 600 MLY. And the best part is that it has the best AI. A woman appeared. My name is Olive. And no, Andrew, you cannot name me otherwise. The group laughed. I was thinking of naming you Popeye. Andrew said. Yes, I know, but tough luck, you're stuck with me. I was actually thinking of the name Olive. Is it so strange? Vicky asked. It is not, Vicky. You're Andrew's wife. Olive said. Do I have my own ship AI too? Billy asked. A woman appeared. Hello, my name is Jenny and I am the AI of GS Bill Guzman. Wow, you're my dream girl. So I cannot change your name also? No, you may not. She's very pretty cuz. Olive is pretty as well. Tony said. Wait, I have one too, right? Ellie looked at Matanite. Hello Ellie, my name is Tom and I am your ship AI. Wow, you're so movie star handsome. I like you. All of you here will have your own special ships later on. We just need to complete the task of fixing the Inky problems and ridding the Norsets of the Morts. Matanite said. While neutralizing the Maccabee infiltration. Andrew said. Ribani, you will go with Billy, Tony, and Linda to the Norset galaxies. Gantley, you better go with Billy so the ship has an Inky presence. Take all your crew with you. Your task is to get the Maccabee assassins, read their minds and imprison them in a planet or change their personalities. Then you have to get rid of the Morts out of the Norset planets they occupy, then deal with the Morts. Then deal with the Bofings. Along the way the ship will deploy drone probe relays so we can be in touch with the other ships. Matanite explained. I read the mission highlights and it says we have to save the Mort ships and not destroy them. We also have to make sure the key Norset's personalities are safe. Then we have to install the plasma cannons we have at the Norset planets. Billy said. It doesn't look too hard. Tony said. I don't see any problem. Just a lot of hard work. Linda said. Ribani smiled and thought these people are really a breed above the rest. Billy, shall we move over to your ship with Gantley, Tony and Linda? Billy nodded and they disappeared. Olive, can you make sure all the advanced data system modules in Billy's ship are transferred to this ship? Madanite said. Yes, Mo, I will start beaming in the people now. The Crinsons and the Trunties will be the first to go in. The Max provided space in this ship for at least 5 Crinsons in the ships and thousands of Trunties. Then the Earth humans will be beamed on board. Ellie, would you want to go to your ship now? Ezra will be there to help you, Madanite said. The next 15 days was hectic for the 3 ships. Roden and his group as well as Andrew and the Earthlings were all involved understanding Armada functions, the new technologies, the people they work with and the details of the tasks at hand. When Billy arrived at the Norset Galaxies, he was hailed by Commander Sind in a Kligo ship. Sind beamed himself to Billy's bridge. This is Commander Sind assigned to the first Galaxy Armada from the other dimension. This is Billy, Gantley, Tony, Linda, and Riker. Ribani said. I am glad to meet all of you. I want to tell you that we found the Maccabee interloper and have captured their ship. We have done a mind read on all their personnel and our ship is now transmitting the intel to your ship. They were able to capture Godanen but we were able to free him. Tonen is busy with the Morts. The Norset Council is safe at the capital. This war has made the Council more security conscious so the Maccabee assassins had a hard time tracking them. So besides Godanen, none of the Norsets know of our presence. All the Morts have been tagged a month ago but we feel there would be others who came later and these would not have been tagged. Our ground troops would have to deal with them. Sind explained. What about the personnel in the ships? Billy asked. They have all been tagged. There were 300 ships that came into the area last week and we have tagged all of them. We would have to send out our troops to clean up the ships of the remaining Morts. We have designated a planet to hold them. Sind said. How many Morts and Mort ships are in the area? Tony asked. 810 Mort ships and 218 transport ships. They have occupied 14 planets and there are more than 2 million Morts on the ground. All of them have been tagged. There is another 400 Mort ships headed to the middle of the Norset Galaxies to engage Tonen and will arrive in 10 days. Sind explained. We can talk to the Norset Council and tell them we would be starting our operations. Ribani said. Jenny, tell our people to prepare for our first engagement. Beam all our drones to their assigned targets on the Mort ships. Tell our shock troops to battle stations. Billy said. Your translators are on the table. Jenny said. The group got their translators and put them on. Sind, come with us. Jenny, beam us in front of the council. Ribani said. Greetings, we come in peace. Which one of you is Binaton? Billy asked. I am Binaton. Why are you here? Ribani introduced the group. It's really a very long story but we are here to get rid of your Mort problem and return your planets to you. Tonen steps out of a square mirror-like device and, great leader you called? Yes, these people are claiming they came here to rid us of the Morts. What's in it for you? Tonen asked. We really do not know. Billy's group laughed. Billy, why are we doing this? Linda, any ideas? I am here to represent our Inky species but I am not really sure what for. Gantley said. Frankly, I have no idea why I am doing this. Billy said. This time the council laughed. Seriously now, Tonen, there are 14 planets with thousands of garrisons manned by more than 2 million Morts. They even captured Godanen and Sind here was able to rescue him from the Maccabee assassins. He is now in sick bay recuperating. We know you have been at war for hundreds of years and the war is taking a toll on your population. We came to help. Linda said. How? How many ships are you bringing in? Binaton asked. The details are not important right now. We have 2 ships in your galaxies already and we hope to finish by tomorrow or maybe the day after. Billy said. The council laughed. I thought you were serious. I realize now that you're all a bunch of jokers. Tonen declared. Look, we only see 1 ship and there are less than 10 people in the ship right now. Maybe you have double vision or something. Binaton said. Sind butted in, let's make a bet. If we do as we say all of you can kiss all of our asses and if we do not rid your galaxies of the Morts in a few days, we will kiss all your little asses. Billy looked at Sind. I don't think it's a good idea. He telepathically told Sind. It is definitely fun to have them kiss our asses. Sind answered telepathically. Binaton laughed and, I think we will get our little asses kissed. Actually we also want you to have an alliance with the Inkies and Maquis, all part of this armada, and that you provide us with 1,000 ships of our design. Finally we want you to prepare to send your people to take care of the refugees. Some of them may die within a few hours. Linda said. And if you lose you give us 1,000 ships of your design? Tonen countered. If we lose, then we would all be dead. Billy said. So do you agree to the bet or not? Sind asked. Binathan laughed. Sure. I just want to make sure that if you lose you will kiss our asses. If we lose. But we won't. Sin said. Look, once we rid yourselves of the Morts you will all kneel and bow low with your big heads almost touching the ground and tell us that you will honor our species as you honor your ancestors. Ribani said. I am sorry, but we have not done that forever since I can remember. Binathan said. Now you will. So the bet is good, right? Sind asked again. He had to confirm as he looked at the council members. Binathan nodded and the council voiced their approval while laughing. It seems you have planned out everything already, including the bow and ass kissing. Binathan said, and could not imagine how a group can be so presumptive and stupid. The council laughed with Binathan. We would leave now and we will be back in a few hours. Billy said. That was one good joke as far as I am concerned. I should look for the Norset who thought about this joke. Binathan said. Linda returned after a few hours and found Tonen in the council room meeting with the council members. Tonen, we would like to invite you to our ship so you can see the operations. Sure, that would be fun. Where's your ship? Tonen said, and he realized he just agreed to visit a nutcase's ship. Linda and Tonen beamed out and Tonen found himself in Billy's bridge. Jenny, are the troops and crew ready? Billy asked. Jenny appeared and, yes Billy. On your order. Tonen, this is Jenny, my ship AI. Jenny start by beaming all the Morts out of their ships to the designated holding planet. Sind, you can start with the ships at your end. Sind nodded. Tonen could see on the floating holographic screen scenes of the Morts in the holding planet appearing and sometimes falling a few feet in the air to the ground and sometimes on top of their comrades. He could see troops entering the Mort ships and killing anybody on board with plasma guns he has never seen before. He could see the attack troops know exactly where to beam in, move and where to shoot. We will be done with the ships in 2 hours and we will commence with the Morts on the ground right after. Jenny said. Tonen could see several ships trying to leave the area and suddenly stopped when a bomb destroyed their engines. Then he could see very small ships uncloaked and then attack the Mort ships, then cloaked again. Some Mort ships were able to launch their small attack ships, but they were all destroyed by the drones. Gantley whispered to Tonen, those very small ships are called drones. After about 2 hours, the scenes in the floating screens show the garrisons on the ground. Tonen could see the Morts disappear and appear in the holding planet. The beam-out operation will take 8 hours and 23 minutes. Jenny said. Tonen could see the drones attack the Mort transport ships and some of the Mort positions. In some of the garrisons he could see Armada troops killing any straggling Morts. He found the troops work so efficiently and in the shortest possible time. I think I should talk to Binathan about ground refugee work. Linda declared. Linda appeared before Binathan and the council. Have you told your people to prepare for refugee work? We need your people on the ground in 2 hours. Linda told the council. Are you kidding? You just left us a few hours ago. Binathan said. Jenny TP Binathan into the bridge where Tonen is, then TP him right back once he understands the situation. Tell Tonen to explain to Binathan what had happened in the last few hours. Linda told Jenny and Binathan disappeared. Linda told Jenny to produce a hologram of the Norset occupied planets and the unoccupied planets near them. These 3 nearest Norset planets to the Mort occupied planet, do they have people who can help the refugees? Linda asked the Norsets. One of the council members answered, I suppose there are. But those planets have very few Norsets, mostly defense troops. Tell them to prepare to move out to the refugee areas within the hour. Linda said. Ribani told Linda that the Max are going to tag all of the Norsets in those planets and beam them and their ships to the refugee planets. He also told him that they would deploy the soul catchers just in case some Norsets die. Linda understood and told the council what they intend to do. We still need supplies and people who can take care of the sick and dying. Please move your asses already, we do not have much time. Some Norsets will die if we come to their aid late. The council was still quiet and disbelieving. Linda beamed back to the bridge. Binathan, your council is too slow to understand and move. Please move your people to help your people. We do not want any more Norset to die in the next few hours. Linda said. Binathan was dumbfounded and like being roused from sleep he shook his head and, let me go down and talk to the council. He disappeared. I will order my ships to move nearer to the planets so they can render aid. Tonen said. Jenny beamed Tonen back to the council room. Sind appeared at Billy's bridge. HQ has opened a DG window 10 MLY from here. They are sending the cloaking platforms and TPs for the Mort ships. Billy nodded. In a few minutes several Kligo blocks were beamed near their area. Billy could see Sind's ship integrate with the blocks. After an hour more than 100 blocks have been beamed in near them. The next day, Billy and his group beamed down to a waiting council in the council hall. Godanen was strong enough to be with them. I think we will have our asses kissed today. Billy said. It's not every day that you get your ass kissed. Sind added, and they laughed. The council members formed a line in front of Billy's group, and on a cue they kneeled and bowed their heads to almost touch the ground. Then on cue they went back kneeling, and on another cue they stood up. We will honor you as we honor our ancestors. Binatan said. That's it? Linda asked and looked at Sind, then at Billy. Somebody is going to have to kiss some ass. Where's Tonen? Jenny, beam Tonen over here. Ribani said. Tonen appeared, walking and talking. He stopped. I thought you changed the deal for 1,000 ships and the alliance. Binatan said. Don't try to wiggle out of the bet, Binatan. Okay guys, turn around for our hosts to choose whose ass they will kiss first. And Binatan, the deal is all of you will kiss all our asses. Billy said. I am really going to enjoy this, and more so because Roden is missing out on this. Gantley said. The Norsets grumbled and moved nearer. Very slowly, dragging their feet. The day the Norset planets were freed was later known as Kiss My Ass Day. The council decreed it to be something else, but nobody seemed to remember the name of the day as decreed. Earlier in the Treadle Galaxy, the Galaxy starship Andrew Man arrived within beaming range of the Inky capital planet. Roden, we have to beam in your most trusted commanders. Andrew said. Yes, Andrew, I have given all of their names, 10 of them, and they are all over the place. I have a fix on all of them. I will beam them in as soon as it is safe and not too obvious. Olive said. Rexton, Rintana and Radano appeared before Roden. Then Celino appeared. Hello Rexton, Rintana, Radano, Celino. I am glad to see all of you. Roden greeted them. Sir Roden, I am glad to see all of you. Rexton said. Roden introduced Andrew, Vicky, Roger, Reek, Eric and Madanite. All of the humans shook the Inky's hands. Roden embraced each of his leaders. Please take a seat. Andrew said as he pointed to the sofas at the back of the bridge. Okay, how are the Furlets and Intis doing? Roden asked. Rexton and Radano looked at each other. Roden, the Furlets and Intis have formed an alliance. We had several skirmishes, but both of them avoided a direct encounter. Celino answered. Are they building the monster ships? Roden asked. How did you know? Our spies have confirmed the Furlets are building a ship 1,000 times bigger than our Vintas, and the Intis are building one as well. Rexton said. Rexton, I want you to assemble 20 of our very best ships and assemble only your most trusted men to crew these. I want at least 5,000 to crew each Vinta. Tell the council you will look for me. Then fly them to these coordinates. It should have a very large red gas planet. Fly your ships into the gas planet and I will join you when you are in the gas planet. Andrew's people will join your crew while some of your crew will move to this ship. Roden instructed. Olive appeared. Andrew, we found the Maccabee ships. There are 3 of them in the Inky galaxies and they are parked 70 mly from us near the Inti side of the end of the Inky galaxies. They do not seem to see us and their shields are down. Send our people, taggers and bombers. Andrew said. The 3 Maccabee ships will be done in less than an hour. Olive, tell Ellie to prepare the time boxes and mind readers. You were right, Andrew. The Maccabee ships have not done anything yet. Roden said. The Inky commanders were just watching. Sir Roden, the Maccabees are our friends. It may be strange why they are here, but our history shows we have always been friends. Rexton said. Not these Maccabees, they are here to kill the council, key fleet commanders like you and many other leaders. We will capture them, and Celino, you can do a mind read yourself so you understand their purpose. We will do a mind read on all of them so we can understand their operations and progress. Roger said. Roden, why don't we invite your commanders for some refreshments so we can explain to them the task at hand? The Maccabees will be done in an hour anyway. Andrew suggested. Good thinking, Andrew. Shall we, Rexton? Roden asked. He then pointed away out of the bridge. Along the way to the mess hall the Inky commanders saw various aliens. They were surprised to see several Inkys in Armada uniform. After walking for about 15 minutes, they realized the ship is very large. This ship is 20 times the size of our largest Vintas and faster. It has dual shields and nothing, absolutely nothing, can penetrate it. Its firepower is much more than what we have. 100 of our ships cannot destroy one of these. Sir Roden, then we have to start building ships like these. Yes, in time. At the moment we have our tasks laid out for us. The mess hall was not at all crowded. They were able to sit on the captain's table beside the floor-to-ceiling diamond window. The Inkys sat on one side with Roden at the middle while the humans sat at the other with Madanite in the middle. Vicky, Ellie, Rabina and Rebecca beams in and sat at the ends of the 2 sides. Roden introduced Vicky and the women to the Inkys. At this point Olive beamed several brandy and wine bottles and several wine and brandy glasses. Taste this. This is what we call brandy. Andrew said and poured a tall one and gave it to Rexton. Roden got a bottle and poured brandy and gave one to Celino and one to Radano. This is incredible, Andrew. No wonder Sir Roden is excitedly doing the pouring. Rexton exclaimed. Okay, let me start off by explaining the task at hand. Roden started. It took him half an hour to finish, and during which time the Inkies have drank a bottle each of the brandy. 10 of your ships will fly over to the Norsets with our people. Along the way your people will be taught the Armada ways. They will understand the various new technologies and ground operating procedures. Andrew said. The Vintas probably will not do a lot because the cloaking technology is something the Norsets can see and that the Maccabees in the area would also see. But the symbolism to the Norsets will solidify the friendship we want you to establish. He continued. The Norsets are a species like Mo here. He's a Norset but he comes from the other dimension. A lot of the people here come from there. The idea is once they train our people and we are able to build the ships with the help of the Norsets and Max, they will leave our dimension and we would have to take our destinies in our hands. Roden added. Sir Roden, where's Gantley? Rexton asked. He's with the other ship and they are on the way to the Norset galaxies right now. He and our men from the original ship will represent our species before the Norsets. Radano asked about the new technologies and this time Ellie and Vicky were the ones doing the talking. After half an hour they noticed the Inkies were already tipsy. The Maccabees are ready to be beamed in. Olive said. Why don't we all go to Ellie's ship and talk to them? We will do a mind read on all of them, then we will do a personality change so we will not be bothered by them and enable them to help in our work. Andrew said. They were all beamed to a very large hangar. Are our mind readers ready? Olive nodded. Start with the leaders. Andrew instructed. That person with the gold sash is their group leader. Olive said. 2 Max approached him and touched his hand. Celino walked nearer and touched the Maccabee leader's head. They were here about a month ago and their people have regularly gone down to gather information on the leaders. They were sent from their galaxies to assassinate the leadership, especially you Roden, the fleet commanders and scientists. Their targets run in the thousands. They intended to commence operations in 2 weeks. Celino said. The mind read continued for another hour for all the main commanders and the telepaths get the readings almost instantly. Andrew and the rest get theirs from Olive. Our drone probes 800 MLY away shows 15 Maccabee ships moving to our direction. They will be here in 12 days in time for the assassination attempt. Olive said. Are their shields up, Olive? Andrew asked. Yes they are. Then they are in attack mode. Maybe the 3 ships sent out a beacon or made a signal to the rest of their armada. Roden said. That group could blow our cover for our operations. Andrew said. Our Norset and Inky hackers confirm the beacon. They are now looking for self-destruct mechanisms. The Maccabee reading shows no self-destruct mechanism being set off in the ships. Olive said. We may have to engage them at 800 MLY from here. Move 90% of all our ground personnel, taggers and hackers, to Ellie's ship. Leave the bulk of the drones and the operators, say 70%, with us. I will remain with Ellie here and wait for Rexton to assemble the ships. Roden said. Andrew nodded at Roden. Okay guys, let's go. They all beamed out except for Roden and the women. After 3 days, Andrew was within beaming range of the Maccabee Armada. Olive, do they see us? Andrew asked. No Andrew. But their shields are up. We can send out our drones to attack the main engines. Then when their shields are down we can beam in exploding tags. Roger suggested. I think we should just target their main engines with our plasma cannons. Some of them may deploy their sabers and we would need our drones to attack their sabers. Eric added. We'll do both. Olive, can we target 15 ships all at once? Yes we can. Each ship would have 2 of our cannons targeting their engines. Maybe 2 shots per cannon. I do not want to destroy the whole ship. Start with 1 shot per cannon, then we'll see if we need to shoot out another one. I do not want to kill any Maccabee more than we need to. Beam our drones near their launch bays and tell the Norsets to start shooting at the parked ships as soon as the plasma explodes. I am moving to a nearer and more optimal position to target the 15 ships. All the drones will be in position in 5 minutes. We can fire our cannons right after. Very well. Duichi. Don't we have to talk to them first? Eric asked. I don't. We already know what they are here for. Roger said. Yeah, I don't really want to talk to them. Suddenly more than 24 floating hologram screens appear in front of the group. I will decloak for 1/10 of a second to fire the plasma, then cloak again. Here goes. Andrew could see plasma shots moving towards their target ships. In less than a second 2 explosions glowed near the sterns of the ships. Their shields are off. We can beam the exploding tags now. Do it, Olive. Then beam them to an uninhabited planet so we can hold them for processing. Start with the bridge personnel. Yes, Andrew. I am moving 70 mly away now. The ships are launching their sabers to our position. The drones have started destroying what they can. We can beam our hackers into the bridge, set up a time warp field so nobody can enter. Then we can take over the ship. Roger said. Very good, Roger. Olive, tell our hackers and marines to prepare to deploy. Deploy when the bridge is safe to beam into. While Andrew was away, Ellie and Roden have sent out the taggers to the planets taken over by the Intis. After 3 days, Tom reported, the Inkeys have left orbit in 20 ships and are moving to the target location, which was a day away. They will be there in 2 days. Continue with our tagging operations. Let's move our ship over there tomorrow. I will leave the Maccabee ships to help in the tagging while we are away. Ellie said. The next day Ellie brought her ship near the Inkey Armada. Then Roden told Tom to beam the commanders to Ellie's bridge. Rexton was the first in, so Roden, glad to see you again. He went on to introduce the Inkey commanders to the humans. Roden introduced the humans to the Inkey commanders. Ellie motioned the group to move to the mission room. Ellie started the presentation and explained the tasks at hand and how the Inkey ships and personnel would work. We will install Norset-type data systems in all the ships, and this will be done within the day. All of the ships will also install medium-sized targeting TPs. In the next several days, the ship shielding will be upgraded to the dual shields. Tomorrow you will notice a blue haze, and this will mean you are all Crimson invisible, and this means that nobody can see you except for our own people. Ellie explained. Okay, Radano, Rexton, some humans, Norsets, Max and Inkeys from the other dimension will join all your ships. You would also send at least 1,000 to Ellie's ship to learn things. I want you two to get 10 ships with these people to the Norset galaxies and meet up with Billy. You and your men will report to and work under Gantley, who works under Billy, and Billy will put his own commanders as captains of 7 ships. Gantley will take over 1 ship. Your task is to liberate the Norset galaxies, then move to liberate the Bofengs from the Mort rule, then fix the Mort problem by enabling the Norsets to take control of their side of the universe. The remaining 10 ships here will be taken over by human commanders Rabina, Rebecca, Reek, Ono, Jenny, Hyrule, Axel, and later by Eric and Roger. I will command the last ship. I want you and your commanders to work under these people and learn their ways. Teach them all they need to know about our ships. Deploy now. Celino, accompany me. Rexton, give your list to Tom and let us all get to work. The Inkeys were slow to move, and the 10 ships were taken over by the humans within the day. And within the day, all the ships were operating under the Norset-type data system. Then the holograms for all the ships appeared before their individual human ship captains and reported progress of the TPs and new shield system. Ellie immediately left the area after discharging the personnel and equipment. After 3 days, 10 Inkey ships started to move towards Billy, while 10 started to move back to the Inkey galaxies. Ellie's tagging operations took almost a month to accomplish, even with the help of 5 of the 10 upgraded Inkey ships, which are now under the command of the human commanders. Roden took 5 ships to deal with the Furlets. Roden's Inkeys used chameleon devices to bomb the Furlet monster ship, and when they decided on the date to execute the plan, they were ready to appear before the Furlets. The Furlet ship explodes, and as expected the Furlets blamed the Intis they saw planting the bombs. Roden waited for a day to get all his people back in the ships. After making sure the Furlets were not pursuing, they left the Furlet galaxies and headed towards Ellie's position. As soon as Roden arrived back at Ellie's position, the plans were all ready to execute. Roden's Inkeys were amazed at the speed of the operations. The operation still took a week to finish. 3 days before they finished transferring the Intis out of the occupied planets, Roden appeared before the council and wanted the immediate mobilization of refugee and medical personnel. As usual, the Inkeys were slow to move, and so he commanded all the Inkey fleet to fly to the occupied planets to render support and medical aid. The Inkey fleet arrived in the area after 2 days. Andrew and the ship commanders went down to meet with the council. They were honored as heroes and Roden as the greatest Inkey leader. They immediately commandeered the 200 ships, which took a week to process. Andrew assigned Eric, Axel, Ono, Jenny and Hyrule with Vicky to bring the first 100 ships to Earth and help out Ramaston and Padamo with the human Armada personnel. Matanite told Eric that their task is to make contact with some human, Inkey and Norset backup planets. Vicky was in charge of getting Earth into the new reality, and Mo told her to be very slow and careful, create a community outside the Earth, then out the secret in 5 years. He gave her the list of people to work with in the first few months. Before Andrew met with the council, they already knew that Billy has succeeded freeing the Norsets and are now in the Bwofeng Galaxy's rendering service with the help of the 10 Inky ships. Roden told the council to sign an armistice agreement with the humans, Max and Norsets so they can build the Armada-class ships. He dispatched 400 ships to work under Gantley, all with excessive number of personnel in each ship. A month later, all the Armada personnel from Mo's dimension commenced with their journey back home. Mo opened a gateway at the Crimson planet and all the personnel were simply beamed back home. The Kligo ship opened its own gateway and beamed back home.